Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to the Games and Culture Podcast, episode 41. We've done the math, we've crunched the numbers. It's 41.
We're on top of it.
Got a little bit of a lighter show today, but there's still plenty of stuff to talk about. Which is good that it's a lighter show because we're spamming the airwaves with videos. We've got this podcast coming out whenever you're watching it. We just finished up a Dispatch review, so the link to that will be somewhere in the ether. Please go check that out. Please go play this game as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, our review is nothing but 2 hours of us glazing it.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So definitely go play it. After watching our video, of course, go watch our video, or play it and then go watch our video to hear what we thought and what we
watch our non-spoiler parts and then go play it and then come back with the spoiler part.
Even better yet. Even better yet. With that being said, though, with both of us wrapping on Dispatch this week since the final episodes came out, what have you been playing, Nick?
I mean, I was playing Outer Worlds 2, and then Dispatch kind of took over my life, so it was Dispatch, and then I just finished a second playthrough of Dispatch.
Oh, okay.
Again, so we're just glazing Dispatch more.
I have not started a second playthrough yet. I am trying to do some ranked battles in Pokemon Z to A to get the Mega Delphox and Mega Greninja Mega Stones. I started Outer Worlds, and it's solid so far, but it doesn't run the best on my Steam Deck. So I'm like, ugh, that means I have to, actually play it on my PC. So I haven't been playing a whole lot of that. I've been trying to play through Digimon Cyber Story Time Stranger. It's been a lot of fun, so playing through that a little bit, as well as playing some Ball X Pit. Ball X Pit's so good.
I've heard good things about it.
So
also, I want to check out Absalom.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's beam up like roguelike, so I want to try that out. Now that I've done 2 playthroughs of Dispatch, now I kind of get back to other games. There is a part where I do make some really judgment decisions in Dispatch, but I need to focus on other stuff right now.
Yeah.
I'd pull myself away.
Because Hyrule Warriors came out last week, and
Kirby comes out this week.
That's true. Kirby does come out this week. So there's plenty of stuff to play. And then here in a few weeks we got Metroid Prime 4 as the last kind of big release of the year. So plenty of stuff still to play out there. But man, some heavy hitters have already came out. Let me tell you. This year
is a strong ass year. And most of this, again, we discussed this before. Most has been dominated by AA's and indies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll discuss Game of the Year since at the time of recording, we record this podcast on Sundays. The following Monday is when the nominees for Game Awards will come out. So we're going to do a video going through the nominees and picking our favorites and stuff. So we'll do predictions for Game of the Year at the end of the show. But there's still plenty of great games out there to play. This year has been stacked, so you would be forgiven to have missed some. I think the non-negotiables at this point, though, are Dispatch and Expedition 33 for sure, and Hades, I guess, as well.
And Silk Song.
Yeah. So tons of stuff out there to play. This news podcast episode is going to be a little bit half and half. We're gonna start off with the bad stuff, end with the good stuff. So it won't be all bad like last episode was, but there's still some bad. It's the game industry, and corporate greed is at an all-time high. So there's still some bad news. And one company that just cannot catch a break, Crystal Dynamics. I am quoting a PC article about the subject. For the third time this year, Crystal Dynamics is making layoffs. As a reminder, they made layoffs earlier in the year because Embracer Group's not doing so hot. Then they did a second round of layoffs when the Perfect Dark game was canceled that they were helping Microsoft make. And now they are cutting some more. Looking at the article, again by PC Gamer, the company announced that it's making the difficult but necessary reorganization of its studio and team, and that as a result of nearly 30 people will be put out of work. The cuts will be made across various departments and projects, Crystal Dynamics said on LinkedIn, as we restructure the company and business for our next generation. To our players, as the realities of the industry continue to evolve, we've made these painful choices as a way to optimize the continued development of our flagship Tomb Raider game, as well as shaping the rest of the studio to make new games in the future. We appreciate the continued supports from our players, our colleagues, and our partners during this transition, and look forward to sharing the team's amazing new work with the world in the future. It's the same corporate speak every time. They say cutting people will optimize or allow them to be more mobile or be more flexible.
Every time we hear those statements, my eyes just glaze over. Like it's just a meaningless crap. We know why you're doing it. I mean, I feel bad for Crystal Dynamics ultimately. I'm not surprised. I mean, at this point, layoffs don't surprise me unless it's like Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
But because most of this is just a rampant issue. But most of not surprised, really, particularly with Crystal Dynamics. This is a studio who's been let down consistently by their publisher.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They were screwed over by Square Enix when they were forced to make the Avengers game. Then they were screwed over by Microsoft by Perfect Dark. They're a Roman Embracer Group who's just making them do all kinds of crap and screwing over. Like it's when did Shadow of the Tomb Raider release? I think it was like 2018. Like, how do we have not had a new Tomb Raider since then? It's crazy.
I believe it was 2019, but yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
long time ago.
We had Tomb Raider, the reboot of Tomb Raider 13,
Rise of Tomb Raider
15.
Yep.
15, and then Shadow was 18 or 19. So 5-6 year span, 3 games, and yet nothing. Like this is Tomb Raider is still a major franchise. It's not like Uncharted size anymore, but it's still like a name brand. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's crazy. It's because they're not being they're not making stuff that people are familiar with them, and they're being screwed over left and right. I'm not surprised they're being laid off, but it's not their fault. They're being yanked around like crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. They announced the new Tomb Raider project in 2022, going to be powered by Unreal Engine 5, but there's literally been nothing shown except for a single piece of concept art released in 2024 for it. So not only does it seem like this is a very long time away, but you're losing talent, which is just going to make it harder to develop the game. Anytime you have to let people go, they had ideas, they had stuff that they were working on, and it just makes it that much harder to finish up the game that you're developing when you're constantly being drained of the talent that started it. So just awful, just awful. Really do, like I said, I really do feel for Crystal Dynamics, because they're just getting, for a story developer as them, they're just getting pulled every which way, and ultimately they are the victims here, along with the franchises that they are helming. There's no reason why that Marvel Avengers game couldn't have been a slam dunk. It was just bogged down by corporate greed. There's no reason why there's no reason why Microsoft canceled the freaking Perfect Dark game. Like, you have to feel for them. I mean, I guess the bright side is that it's only 30 people out of their whole studio. I don't know how many people are there, but across the whole year, they've laid off around 100. Microsoft laid off 9,000. So, I mean, bright spot is it's not a ton of people, but it's still is just awful no matter how you look at it. Again, especially for a studio of their legacy. I mean, they've been around since the 90s with Gex and then moved on to Tomb Raider and a bunch of other stuff. The Legacy of Kain series, and lots of storied games under their belts there. Well, let's move on from Crystal Dynamics and their layoffs to Rockstar and their possible wrongful firings of people. Lots of Rockstar news in the last couple of weeks. It all started with the announcement of a delay of Grand Theft Auto 6. It was originally supposed to come out this year, but they delayed it to May 26th of next year. But now it's being pushed all the way back to November 19th, 2026. in a move that really didn't surprise anybody. I mean,
No, it's delaying a game is a Rockstar tradition.
yes, yes. Um, but then it came out. The real story was that Rockstar fired 30 employees for what they're saying was leaking stuff about the game, but what it actually looks like, it was a union busting technique. Now Rockstar's facing some consequences. So again, quoting PC Gamer, Rockstar faces legal action from the UK union after firing more than 30 employees last week, stating that they are confident that they are what they've seen there is plain and simple union busting. Um, so it all started with a group of employees. So the dismissals in question occurred on October 31st, when more than 30 Rockstar employees in the UK and Canada were fired without warning. Um, the union that represented them alleges at the time that the employees were fired because of their efforts to organize a union at Rockstar. Um, Rockstar claimed that they were fired due to gross misconduct, um, later clarifying that they were distributing and discussing confidential information in a public forum. That public forum was a employee union Discord. So there was just employees there in the Discord, and they were, I guess they shared a couple screenshots from GTA 6 or something along those lines. There was no public members, no public people in the Discord. It was just these employees that were trying to allegedly form a union. Um, um, the yeah, and the only evidence that they found of non Rockstar people in the Discord were labor organizers. So they are bringing a suit against Rockstar for these firings, because I mean, there's some pretty clear evidence that it was union busting. So
I mean, I don't know why. I I mean, I know why they would union bust. I mean, that doesn't. I mean, it's wrong, obviously, but I'm not surprised they would attempt to do. Most companies will. I'm more like the sheer stupidity of trying it in a country that's not the U.S.
yeah,
Like the U.S. is pretty lax when it comes to that stuff, but most countries are not, especially European countries. And yeah, the UK is kind of not great compared to the rest of the Europe, but it's still better than the U.S. when it comes to labor laws. So I'm not sure what you're trying to do here with that.
yeah,
Like if they if they find evidence that's what you were doing, you're gonna lose.
yes. Um, Typically, when you are laying off people in the UK or firing people, you have to enter this like arbitration phase where you have to give like 60 days notice to the government and all this kind of stuff. So to fire somebody without warning, it takes like quite a lot of evidence to get there. So um seems like Rockstar is happy to take the suit. I personally I just I don't understand the idea behind union busting. I really don't. I mean, yeah, especially for a company as successful as Rockstar, like you're only as successful as your developers. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we're asking, greedy capitalists to understand the value of their employees, and they just don't. So,
yeah,
going from that point, I understand from their wrongful perspective why they would attempt a union bust. Obviously, their perspective was wrong, but you could see how the twisted logic would flow. I guess to my point, but
yeah,
doing it in the UK, but I mean, I will say in this, like, if theoretically they say that both things are true, they did leak the stuff, and then also they're union busting. If you're trying to build a union, like you kind of need to be kind of like fly under the radar in terms of like pushing the rules, because if they can actually fire you for cause while they know you're trying to build a union, they're gonna any place will take that.
yeah,
Like, so don't give them a reason to fire you if you're trying to build a union.
yeah. I mean, and I'm sure if you talk to the developers, they would say that they weren't trying to.
No,
But
yeah. I honestly, I don't believe that the leaking thing is true. I'm
yeah,
just saying, if it is the case that was true, you gave them the silver bullet they need to stop the union in its tracks.
yeah,
But I don't believe the silver bullet existed. I think they're just making shit up.
yeah,
Um, but it's just honestly just a baffling messaging. And if the likelihood of this evidence existing is low, and why would you attempt to do this in case? Maybe that means it's a, I don't know, but Rockstar, greedy company being greedy again, like of course, it's every pretty much every major publisher in this game industry right now is being ran by greedy assholes.
yeah. And the audacity to try to bury it under the delay of possibly the most anticipated game of all time is also just
Mhm.
dastardly evil. Like, because again, all of this came out on a Friday. Typically, you release news on a Friday if you want it buried or and people to not pay attention to it. So not only was this all announced, all this happened on a Friday, but then to be like, oh, and our game's delayed. Hoping that that headline rises to the top versus, yeah, we just union busted and fired 30 some people, you know. So just awful. Luckily the union's going to be giving it to them, so we will follow how that plays out in court.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Valve. Moving on from the bad news to the good news. Let's talk about Valve. In an announcement that simultaneously surprised everybody and also surprised no one. This past week, Valve revealed new hardware um, for their Steam platform. And to be honest, all of it looks great. They announced 3 new items, a new VR headset called the Steam Frame, a new Steam controller. To remind people, there was an old Steam controller and it was awful. And a brand new line of Steam machines. Now, if you've not been in the gaming space for very long, a Steam machine is something that Valve tried before back in 2013, 2014, and basically it's like a console PC hybrid type thing. So it was not as strong as like cutting edge PCs, but it was a little bit stronger than normal consoles, and it played with a early version of the Steam OS that we know and love today. And they didn't do that well.
No,
So
its big issue was a lot of them. Well, they all were back then. First attempt made by third parties.
yeah,
So the range of the price of two machines and where they were in the market, it didn't work.
yeah, they ranged anywhere between like
So
$800 to $1,400 depending on specs and all this stuff.
yeah.
And so by 2018, Valve had officially pulled the plug on those original set of Steam machines. But in this ever growing and ever changing gaming landscape, Steam has decided to give it a second try. Um, so, like I said, they announced a bunch of different well, not a bunch of different, a handful of different products. Unfortunately, they did not give release dates or pricing for these new ones. So that's unfortunate, but let's kind of go through the Steam Machine specs. There'll be 2 different sizes. One will have a 512 gigabyte solid state drive. One will have a 2 terabyte solid state drive. Um, each of them will have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Each of them will have 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 GPU with a custom AMD Zen 4 CPU. So it's gonna be pretty decently powerful. It's not gonna be as cutting edge the as like a high power rig PC or probably the PS5 even, but it will fall pretty much just right under that. You're going to be able to play most current games at probably like medium settings, so nothing too shabby there. It is promising 120. It is promising 4K at 60 frames per second with the help of some AI upscaling, which is fine. Um, and they showed it off. It's this little cube that people are affectionately calling the Gabe Cube, which I think is just needs to be its actual name. I
I
I'm
mean,
I fucking I when you sent me that and I saw people actually calling it, I fucking died.
I I I mean, I think everything else to note because we were talking about the third party ones. The Steam Machine is this time made by Valve themselves,
Hmm.
so definitely you know, I think it's a much better play than we did last time.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I'm definitely tempted to get one myself. And I hope because also the front plate kind of comes on and off
Yes.
too,
Yep.
and I'm really tempted to buy a GameCube front plate.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yep. The front plate can come off and it reveals some of the internals there. And they show different face plates. So it sounds like Steam will, it sounds like Valve will sell their own face plates for it. It has this little light bar, kind of like the PS4's, that actually has interactivity with the system. If you're downloading something, it will show you the progress of the download, which I thought was pretty cool. So you could be like watching TV or playing something else and keeping an eye on your download of your new game, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about the Steam Frame. Valve is no stranger to VR headsets. They have their Valve Index, which is one of the most powerful headsets on the market. This is kind of targeting the more casual VR market. It's all self-contained, so just kind of like the Oculus. You can download games straight to it. It's got a CPU and stuff on it, but it's not that powerful. I think what they're really trying to do is have you stream from your PC to it. And that's
Mhm.
even more evident of the fact that it has two Wi-Fi channels that it can read off of. One to your internet, and the other is to a dongle that you plug into your PC so that it can connect to your PC, stream the games without much difficulty to the headset. It looks really, really comfortable, really, really sleek. It looks pretty lightweight as well. So I actually think that that might be a big hit going forward in the VR space. And then the new Steam controller. It straight up looks like they cut the screen off of the Steam Deck and formed and just collided the two pieces together in the form of a controller. And
It definitely
that's what early hands-on reviewers have said is that it's just as comfortable as the Steam Deck.
okay. I haven't seen anyone say about this because from the looks of it, the thing looks awful, honestly. But I thought the same thing about the Steam Deck, where like that looks awful. Then holding it in my hands, like actually just feels
Yeah,
fine. This is
I'm
really
sure
good.
there's record of somewhere on the of videos of me saying that this thing looks ugly. So and I
Yeah,
it's my favorite piece of tech. So
yeah. But I definitely looking at. So I'm not interested in the frame. I already have a
yeah.
VR2. I barely use, and I have a PC adapter for it too. So if I want to use VR, I'm set. Um, the controller I'm interested in because I mean I do like the Steam Deck controller. But I am more like, is the controller going to come with the Steam Machine? I would hope so.
I don't think
Uh,
so, actually. I
we'll
don't
we'll
believe that
see.
it does.
Well, I hope at least that Steam like sells a bundle with it.
I'm sure that will
Yeah.
happen. Trying to see
Um,
if it says if it does or not.
well, they haven't released a price point yet.
No.
So, and I think that is going to be, I think, because I think the Steam Machine is like the most notable, like, obviously, announcement of the three.
Yes.
Um, uh, there's still questions I have all over it. One is the price. The
Yes.
price is going to determine how successful this thing is. That's
Yes.
first and foremost. There's two factors I think is going to determine success. The first is its price.
Hmm.
If it comes in at a lower, like 500-600 price, I think this thing can actually do make a splash. I think it
Yeah.
can make a splash, and I think it could kill Xbox once and for all. I don't. A lot of people online are like, I like it's going to kill PlayStation. I'm like, no, PlayStation's going to be largely unaffected by this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they're going anywhere. I could see, depending how well this thing does, Sony kind of taking a step back and going, maybe I should stop putting my games on Steam, except for the live service ones. I could see them kind of thinking about it.
I don't even see that happening.
As depending how successful it is. This thing is like notably threatening their space. Sure. But the Steam Deck, a lot of people act like the Steam Deck was going to eat Nintendo's lunch, and it doesn't. Like it's sold 4 million units, which is still that's for Valve. That's a good. They're okay with that, but in the grand numbers, I think that isn't pretty much into Nintendo. So If the Steam machine has, does about the same, then I don't think someone's gonna really care. If it's, actually becoming like a rival, then I don't think they'll care. But again, it comes at the price point. Like, how much is it gonna cost? If it's more expensive than like a PS5 Pro, like we're talking 800 to 1,000, then I think the thing's gonna have a little less success. But also, I think the bigger question it has is uh, the Steam Deck is a little hard to get, honestly, because the only place you can order one really is Steam itself. So you have to already be a Steam user. A lot of people, like I was talking to a friend of this at work, and I used someone else who worked there as an example. Uh, Asked them like, "Do you know what Nintendo Switch is?" Like making a point to someone who doesn't know what Steam, who's a PC gamer, and the person who's one of the coaches like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Do you know what a PlayStation is?" "Yeah." "Do you know what Steam is?" They had no fucking clue what Steam was.
Yeah.
Steam is a great service. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we all love Steam, a good Steam sale, but Steam is very much an enthusiast crowd platform. If you're playing on PC, you're an enthusiast for gaming. PlayStation and Nintendo do have a better appeal to casuals versus Steam. So I do think, and I hope Steam will put these devices in stores like Best Buys, GameStops, things like that, to try and get into that casual market too. Because if they keep it the same way as Steam Deck, where you can only order one from Steam itself, that's going to limit its reach.
Um, I agree and kind of disagree. I definitely disagree that PlayStation is going to give a fuck about this. This will not change PlayStation's view on it at all because PC is already its biggest competition, and they're okay about putting their games on PC at certain intervals. I don't think that this is going to change that.
No, I said the only way I think it changes it is if this device starts eating into their.
Well,
They don't even think PC eats into their territory. The Steam machine theoretically could eat into their territory, but I don't think it's going to. So I don't think they're going to care.
Yeah,
If
I
it
don't
does,
even think
it's a
that's a
big.
possibility.
No, again, I agree with you on that. I'm just saying the big if that it could eat into its territory, it may give someone like, okay, now they're becoming a bit more like Xbox to us was. So I don't know, but I think that's a very small if.
Yeah, they already know that PC is their biggest competitor, and instead of competing, they're opting into giving them the games. They still release their stuff first so that you still have to buy a PlayStation if you want a day one, but they're okay with selling units down the line on PC. So I don't think anything's going to change there. What I think this is going to do is I think Steam is stepping into this role as kind of like the third option.
Yeah, which I
Um,
think, they're fine with that
yeah,
because obviously they control the PC market and stuff like that.
exactly.
They're not gonna be like Xbox and do weird shit because they're in third place. Like they'll
Exactly.
be comfortable.
They are wanting to just bring their products, which is Steam OS. Like let's be clear. Their product is not Steam Machine. Their product is Steam OS. They
Mhm.
want you on the Steam store buying shit tons of games because that's how they make their money. So this is another option. What I think this product will still be a very niche product. I don't think that we're gonna see like fucking 20 million plus sales on this, but I do think that we will see somewhere in the ballpark of like 10 million sales on this for people that maybe have a Steam Deck but want something that isn't portable to play at home and still keep their Steam library. I think what this option is maybe like my first PC, like baby's first PC type thing. I think that would be a good way to get into the market because this system is essentially just a PC with Steam on it. So if you
Yeah.
have friends that are, I don't know, playing Valheim or something that you can't get on a PlayStation, this would be an affordable option to still do that. So I think that this still will be a niche product. I think it still will be a pretty successful product.
Yeah.
Because
Like the success is going to look different for Valve compared to normal like
yes,
studios. Like a 10 million units sold for any of the other big three, including Microsoft, would be a failure. For Valve, I think it's fine.
yeah, because that's
I'm just
10
saying, like,
million more people that are spending money on Steam.
yeah. I would say if somehow it gets like the 40, 50, which I again highly doubt. But then I think that would cause, was saying earlier, like Sony would go like, okay, maybe that's a little different now. But I don't even think it's gonna sniff 40 to 50.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
Price point will
But
determine a shit ton though, because I think if the 512 version comes in at like 650, I think a lot of people will buy it,
mhm,
and like maybe 800 for the 2 terabyte, because that's quite a lot of space. Because they did say that it's like 11 times more powerful than the Steam Deck or some stupid number
six
like
six ti-
that.
6 times.
Okay, yeah, some stupid number like that that you can't even quantify without being able to fucking play on it. So, um, I I think um I think that if it's priced well, I think it'll sell. If
Yeah.
it's 650 for a 512 gigabyte one, I think that I would probably even buy one just as a option of like I have a fucking TV that I literally do not play games on. Because I play through everything on my PC for the most part, and my PS5 is connected to my PC monitor, and same with my Switch dock. But if I had this other option where I didn't have to pick up my fucking 50-pound PC and could play something on the big screen, I think I probably would. And it's very small; it's not going to take up much space, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely if it's $800 for the 2 terabyte, I'll get one. Um, as I mean, I do think also that it need to be in stores for to get a casual maybe market. But I'm not in the casual market. But like I've kind of needed to upgrade my PC. I have a 1660 Super in mind, so my PC is fairly weak. Like when I was playing Hades 2, I bought a long ass HDMI cable and hooked to my TV so I could play it on my TV. And it was kind of annoying because also when you do that, I have to start like looking like this to move my mouse to boot up the game. It was tedious. Like so having a Steam machine just right there plugged into my TV at all times, would be honestly a lot more beneficial to me for what I do, and I don't have to open my PC that because I don't use my Steam that much for like the big boys of games like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. But for what I do use, a Steam machine would actually be very, very useful to me. So, me at this point, for me, for my own purchase, just tell me the price, and as long as it's reasonable, I'm in.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily be. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily need one, but like I think that I could still find use for it. Like I said, there's a TV in my bedroom, and if I wanted to play something on my PC, that maybe like Outer Worlds is a prime example. Outer Worlds doesn't run the greatest on my Steam Deck right now, but I'd like to play it. If I'm sitting in bed, I can pick up my fucking Steam machine that weighs 2 pounds, bring it into my bedroom, hook it up to my TV, and play Outer Worlds from the comfort of my bed. I think that this product is really really cool. I think that they're kind of stepping into this market at the perfect time since Xbox is imploding upon itself. Um, and I think that if the price is nice, I think some of those Xbox players might be going. I could play God of War Ragnarok on that thing,
I know
and
the other games you play.
yeah, and all the other games I play. Let me see what you got here, Steam. So and push come to shove, you could get Windows 11 on it. It is still a PC. I
Why
wouldn't
would
want to
you
do
want
that.
to?
Yeah,
Why
I
would you
wouldn't want to
want
do
to?
that, but it is an option. So very cool announcement. Kind of came out of left field. Um, while also really not. I think a lot of people that were looking at Steam Deck going, just do this in like a console form, and now they are. So, in that same announcement, though, they did talk about the Steam Deck 2 in a couple reviews, saying that it is not anywhere anytime soon. They said that they have ideas for the next Steam Deck, but the technology is not there yet. So, for all of us Steam Deck enthusiasts, it sounds like we have a little bit longer to wait, but probably will be worth it. So, very cool stuff coming out of Valve. And then Valve wasn't the only people announcing stuff this week. PlayStation also got in on the fun. They did a State of Play Japan broadcast earlier this week, focused on Japanese developers and titles. It was fully in Japanese, which I didn't expect that. So I was like, ah, shit, subtitles. But they did announce some cool stuff. Um, they announced a Blaze Blue Entropy Effect X. which is a kind of roguelike action spin-off of Blaze Blue. Um, it's I think it's been out on PC, I'm pretty sure. And this now it's releasing on PS5. Um, both of us have played Blaze Blue. Blaze Blue is pretty cool.
I didn't play the roguelike thing,
I
but
yeah, I
I have
haven't.
played. I've played the fighting game a couple of times. I got cross tag battle once, so
Yeah.
they're okay.
They announced two Broken Lore horror games: Broken Lore Unfollow and Broken Lore Ascend. They are releasing in January. They look super creepy. Not up my alley at all. They announced a new Coffee Talk spinoff called Coffee Talk Tokyo, which is releasing in March. It's set in a cozy cafe in Tokyo, and you talk to people. They showed off like a cat girl and a girl that kind of looked like a cyborg ish. So looked good. I know you've played the Coffee Talk games, right?
The first one, I
The
didn't
first
play
one.
the Coffee Doc 2. But it was all right. Yeah, it was a cozy game. That's the best way to describe it. Just a cozy, little interesting game. Good and relaxed too.
Very very nice. They also showed off more of that Arc System Work game, Damon and Baby. Uh, Looks cool. It's like a twin stick shooter type thing. Looks all right. It's coming to PS5 early next year. Um, Pretty inoffensive. Looked fine.
Yeah.
Uh, they announced the first pack of DLC for Digimon Story Time Stranger. I'm really enjoying this game. It's really, really good. If you like turn-based RPGs, and it kind of, honestly, kind of like Pokemon clones a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty fun. So they get introducing some new Digimon. They showed off more of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. That was announced a few months back. They showed off a little bit more and gave its release date of February 5th. So that's exciting. I'm a pretty big Dragon Quest fan, so I've never played 7, so excited for it. They showed off a DLC for Dynasty Warriors Origins called Visions of Four Heroes. If you like Dynasty Warriors, it's more Dynasty Warriors, it looked like. Getting into a couple of the bigger announcements. I'll say the bigger announcements for last, actually. They announced another title update for Monster Hunter Wilds 4. I can't believe people are still playing this game.
Wow, that's surprising from you.
It doesn't they lost the magic of world somehow. I don't know. But they're adding in the giant halberd dragon Gogmazios, plus some seasonal events. They usually do some like winter Christmas stuff, so that's not surprising there. They announced a new indie game called Motion Wreck. It's this weird game where you move, jump, record your actions, and then replay them as a sense of like movement. It looked kind of like a really cool puzzle platformer. So definitely take a look at that. They announced a Once Upon a Katamari DLC packs. Sonic, Pac-Man, Sonic is in Pac-Man World 2 repack. there's Sonic based levels in Pac-Man World 2, which is kind of cool. I can't wait talking to you about this one. SpongeBob SquarePants coming to Sonic Racing's Crossworlds.
No, that's been announced. That's been a
Oh,
thing.
that was the first time
That
I
was
saw it. Why
yeah.
is
That's
SpongeBob coming to Sonic?
I'm fairly certain you saw like the announcement for that at like the Summer Games Fest.
Did I?
You probably, yeah, I'm fairly certain you did.
I don't remember it. Maybe I just thought it
But
was a fever dream. But SpongeBob comes to Sonic
I mean,
Racing Crossworlds
Ich,
on November 19th.
Ichiban's coming. Either he's coming or he's in the game already. That's what I know who you really care
That's the
about.
only one that matters. That's the only one that matters. They also announced new game called Nevergrave: The Witch and the Curse.
Oh, that's
Um,
cute.
yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's a 2D roguelike where you like copy the abilities of like the enemies and stuff like that. Looks pretty cool. It's published by Pocket Pair, number one Nintendo enemy right now. So if that's a reason for you to check it out. They announced Kyuron Makaism, which is a 3D action RPG from the team that makes Disgaea. You turn the enemies into familiars and then command or transform them into powerful weapons to reclaim your stolen pudding. So, sounds like a Disgaea game. um, but getting into the big announcements, they announced the first DLC package for Elden Ring Night Reign called The Forsaken Hollows. Comes out December 4th. It adds 2 playable Nightfarers, the Scholar and the Undertaker, along with 2 new bosses. So if you're an Elden Ring Night Reign fan, that announcement's for you. For you, I think specifically, Fatal Frame 2 remake, Crimson Butterfly, looked pretty cool. They're remaking the second Fatal Frame. I know you like your horror games, so
Yeah, I just never played a Fatal Frame game before, so I mean, it look okay. I just don't know if I'll get to it. But I just look okay to me.
yeah,
That wasn't a highlight to me.
fair enough.
I honestly, we'll get to the end once you get to the state of play stuff. But yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Coming out in the spookiest month of all, March, with pre-orders open now. New DLC pack for Gran Turismo 7, with 24-hour endurance racing. Don't know why the fuck you'd want to do that. That sounds crazy. So if you're one that does that, let us know in the comments, because that's fucking crazy. The 2 biggest announcements. Well, one more. They also showed off Octopath Traveler 0. It launches December 4th, and there's a demo that was made available this week with the first 3 hours available for play, and you get to carry your full progress to the full release. And then the final 2 announcements: they announced a new 27-inch gaming monitor that has a built-in charging hook for your DualSense, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that might look kind of neat.
Refresh rates up to 120. Has a 2560 times a 1440 resolution. Can go all the way up to 240 hertz on compatible PC and Mac devices. So, pretty cool. Honestly, I thought that was kind of cool to have a built-in DualSense looks
Yeah,
looks
that sounds
sleek
neat.
too. So, and then the announcement that Nick wants to talk about, Marvel Token Fighting Souls. We got some like kind of a little bit of a deep dive kind of interview with the developers talking about Ghost Rider and why they chose Robbie Reyes, which is cool. I happen to quite like Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, and they announced another beta happening starting on December 5th, and Spider-Man and Ghost Rider will be a part of that playable roster, which is very, very cool. They also showed off 2 new stages, familiar to any X-Men fans, the Savage Lands and the X Mansion, which is pretty cool. They even said too the X Mansion level's a little bit special because it's the first one that you can't proceed to a different screen for, but the X Mansion does go through changes as the fight continues. So, aka you destroy the X Mansion.
Could be. I mean, I'm curious what they mean by that. Is just background stuff? Because like, as soon as they said like, yeah, you can't break the walls, I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be the favorite stage of like competitive players because a lot of competitive players don't like wall breaks. So I'm very curious what that was gonna turn into. Because also that does kind of fundamentally change the game a little bit because you don't. As we discussed on a previous podcast, because I played the first beta, you only start off with 2 of your 4 characters you selected, and you get the other ones either by sending someone through the wall or losing a round. So if you can't send someone through the wall anymore, it kind of changes how you play around with the game a little bit. So I'm very curious how that works.
I'm telling you send them into the X Mansion and destroy a piece of the X Mansion, and then they come back to the gate going, "Hey, why'd you fucking do that?"
Yeah, it's only a possibility. It's only a possibility. I'm very much interested. You could be right. I'm just not sure.
The X Mansion exists for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to be destroyed.
But yeah, I'm excited to play more. I really enjoyed the beta first one. I also like this one. They said it was a little annoying the first time around where the game went down during the beta for a few hours for maintenance sometimes. And I guess that's not happening this time. It'll be
Yep.
once it starts, it will go all the way till it shut it down again. So like that. The only really concern I have, not really concern, I would say, is just more okay. You've adding Ghost Rider and Spider-Man 2 this beta, cool. So now that's every character you've shown off thus far.
Yep.
Because I'm like, okay, you announced this game in June. I kind of would like to see some more characters now at this point, please.
Yeah. I would agree. Um, it really just depends on how far away this game is releasing. I mean, um, they've said that it's probably going to come out next year. Well, I mean, it's at this point, it's probably going to be late next year, if not into 2027, because you haven't showed off the rest of the cast. So, and I mean, and I also think it's weird that they're showing off X Mansion and Savage Lands, but they didn't announce like any X-Men characters. Like this would be the perfect opportunity to be like, and Wolverine is in the game.
Yeah, like that'll be kind of strange. I mean, granted, the Game Awards are still coming around, so
That's true.
the last chance of the year to show off some stuff. But I do like to see a bit more, characters.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Sticking with Sony, I forgot about a news article that happened this week that we need to talk about. Sony doesn't seem to be too happy with buying Bungie. Uh, I know this isn't a
Yeah.
surprise, but now Sony is saying it themselves. Quoting a PC Gamer article about the subject. In its latest financial report, Sony says that Bungie has failed to meet targets and Destiny 2 is underperforming. The report includes a 31.5 billion yen, which is approximately $204 million impairment loss that it attributes to Destiny 2 failing to hit its targets. Chief Financial Officer Lin Tao telling investors regarding Destiny 2, partially due to the changes in the competitive environment, the level of sales and user engagement have not reached expectations we had at the time of the acquisition of Bungie. While we will continue to make improvements, we downwardly revised the business projection for the time being and recorded an impairment loss against a portion of the assets at Bungie. Uh, Obviously, this is no surprise to us, as we've reported multiple times, but this is the harshest language that Sony themselves have used about Bungie since the acquisition a few years back. I just felt that it was necessary to bring that up because goddamn.
I
As
mean,
of right now, Destiny 2 is in its worst state ever. Even worse than when the Beyond Light expansion came out. That one was not well regarded by fans. And with Marathon being delayed, things don't look good at Bungie, for sure.
nope. I'm sure they're regretting their purchase. I mean, I'm sure they just said they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Bungie's becoming a PlayStation studio. That's inevitable now.
Yeah.
Like that's just what's gonna happen. And for Bungie's case, it's for the best. For Sony's case, yeah, there's a lot of fucking money down the toilet.
Yeah. And because of that impairment loss, for the first time in a very long time, PlayStation reported a loss to bigger Sony. And usually, PlayStation is the backbone of Sony. So, if you take out Bungie, PlayStation made money, but Bungie lost so much money that it nullified any amount of money that PlayStation made in the time period, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, that's Sony ain't gonna let that lying down.
No, they're not.
Say hello to your new Sony overlords, Bungie.
It will be interesting to see what happens with Marathon, because I mean, they were quick to can Concord.
I don't know what you do with that.
Is
'Cause I don't think
Marathon a Concord 2.0?
I think so. I don't, because with Arc Raiders doing as well as it's doing,
Yes.
I don't think people are going to leave that for Marathon. So I think I think Marathon will survive longer than Concord did. I mean, it's only 2 weeks. That shouldn't be that hard to pass. And I think the Bungie name alone will get it there. Now, how much longer beyond the 2 weeks, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna do well at all.
Yeah. Well, here's to the developers at Bungie. We feel for you. We know how bad it is there, but damn.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the final announcement this week, we finally got our first look at the Mario Galaxy movie in a roughly 3-minute trailer. Spoiler alert, it looks great.
I'll be there day one. Well, not even day one, but weekend one. Yeah, I'm seeing opening weekend.
Yeah. The trailer opens with the shrunk Bowser angrily painting some paintings of Mario, and Mario genuinely being a dick to Bowser.
I love the fact of the trailer that Bowser's like actually like kind of nice to Luigi and building a rapport. We're like, hey Luigi, he's like, what's up, Mario?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Luigi's actually trying to be nice and all this shit. It's so great.
Like fuck Mario, dude. The Mushroom Kingdom would be a better place without Mario. That's my take.
Wow, that's a take.
That's my take. All they need is Luigi. It's fine. But yeah, so we get to see some of the planet hopping shenanigans from the Mario Galaxy game in the big screen. It shows Captain Toad and Peach kind of like diving into a water-based planet. We get to see Bowser Jr. is finally making his appearance. He looks like a badass, breaking into Princess Peach's castle to steal back Bowser, and looks to be trying to kill Mario and Luigi with this painted mace, which is really, really cool. And then we also get to see our first shot of Rosalina, who looks a little bit overpowered in my opinion. She's taking on.
She always has been.
I mean, that's fair. Taking on this giant mech suit piloted by one of the villains, and easily dispatches it using her star magic. She is voiced by Brie Larson, which I think is pretty solid casting. And Bowser Jr. is voiced by Benny Softy, which Nick and I were discussing before the show. We don't know who he is. Apparently, he was in Oppenheimer and Uncut Gems. So
those are good movies. So I mean, one or two is the scientists that kind of portray Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer's a fantastic movie. So I haven't seen how he can be in a comedic role because it's a very comedic role. So maybe he'll be good. We'll see. Brie Larson's Rosalina, I think he's a home run. Obviously she's played Captain Marvel, as what she's most known as. But she's also like a super like Nintendo fan. Like fucking does marketing for them, talks about a lot. She's actually said like she kind of wants to push Nintendo to do a Metroid movie so she can play Samus in a live action Metroid movie. I'm like, give it to her. I think she can do that role perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain when her agent gave a call, I was like, yeah, it's Nintendo. They want you to be in a Mario movie. She was like, just like whatever they want. Oh, I don't care. I'm in.
Who am I? Toadette? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I want you to play Rosalina. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm so I think it's open the door to maybe hey Nintendo, make a Metroid movie. Make a Metroid movie. I'm like,
I mean, we got Zelda in the works. There were some photos that were leaked from the Zelda set, so I bet you if Zelda does well and everybody likes Brie Larson as Rosalina, that gives Brie Larson a lot more bargaining power to be like, hey, Metroid movie, let's do it.
I wish her well. Just complete the mission.
But what if they're like, okay, we'll do a Metroid movie, but the writers of Other M are the ones that are writing it?
No.
What if that's the only way?
So no, because besides, those writers should have already been shot into the sun.
No mercy.
Yeah. Back to the movie. Yeah, the movie looks fantastic. There's obviously it's called Mario Galaxy. We can see that Rosalina being in it, the space stuff. They're also combining other elements. Like Junior doesn't turn into like Shadow Mario. He just doesn't even use his paintbrush at all in Galaxy.
No.
But he's using it here, and he turns himself into his Wonder form.
Yep.
And then there's a more point in the trailer we see Mario like Luigi driving through a desert, and you see his upside down temple, and that's from Odyssey.
Yep.
So they're combining different elements from across the series, even though this is a Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
But I definitely the honestly somehow the animation for the first movie was fantastic. The animation for this one looks spectacular.
Yeah.
So I'm thoroughly excited. The first one, I think, I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever made, but it was like all I wanted was to capture the spirit of Mario, and that's what it did.
Yeah.
But this one, now that they, how the runaway success of the first one, what was it, like 1.3 billion?
Yeah.
They can go balls to the wall with this one, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And I like how they're taking the name Galaxy literally, not just in the game that they're trying to encapsulate, but like we're gonna pull in everything because it's a fucking galaxy. So let's just pull all of it in. We got stuff from Odyssey, we got stuff from Sunshine, we got stuff from Mario Wonder and Galaxy. So yeah, looks great. Absolutely looks great. That is releasing next year in April, so don't have to wait too long for it either. So
Nope.
Very, 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 very cool. Happy to see it. Probably will be their opening weekend as well. So lastly, we'd like to do some Game of the Year predictions since we are now on the eve of Game Award nominee announcements. The Game Awards taking place on December
11th, I believe.
11th, yeah. I think that's what it is.
Should be the second Thursday of the month. It's on a Thursday,
Yep.
I know that. It's always on a Thursday.
Yep, December 11th is correct. So we obviously will live stream it like we've done in the past years and stuff. When the nominees get announced, we will do a video going through the categories and who we think shall win. But we always want to get our Game of the Year nominees out there as what we think. I think that's the most important category. It's the biggest category. So they normally do 6 nominees. So lock it in, Nick. Who are your 6 nominees for Game of the Year this year?
Oh my god, it's so difficult. Like, to be frank, I think they should expand it for this year. They should have done it in 23 as well. And this is happening again where they, like last year, I think 6 was fine, but this year, like, oh my god, we're running thin on slots. Like, games are going to get shafted this year.
Yes.
Like, so I guess we can kind of ping pong in this a little bit. So I think the obvious one that's going to get nominated is Expedition 33.
Yeah.
That's one of the, at least they're guaranteed to have a spot. And to be frank, I think they'll be the one who wins.
Yes.
Like ultimately overall. And that may not be my pick for the Game of the Year at this point, because God, the fact that I'm saying that too, like when they came out, because I thought it was they're gonna be unstoppable. And now I'm like, Jesus, they might lose this to me. But I can still be objective and look at the entire industry and go, I think they're still gonna win it.
Yes.
At the Game Awards. But yeah, no, I think they're a lock. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think is a lock.
Okay.
Now I think everyone else is less of a lock because someone else could take it. Well, somewhat. I don't know. I think
I don't think DK is a lock. That's my thing. I don't.
No, I think
DK is a lock.
I think there'll be I think there's an obligatory Nintendo game. I think there will be an obligatory Nintendo game, and Donkey Kong is good enough to be there.
Oh yeah, I agree with that for sure. But I just don't think that I don't think they're a lock for that spot.
Fair enough. Okay. The other one, I think there'll be an obligatory Sony game, and it's coming down to 2 games. I think it's gonna be Death Stranding 2 over Ghost of Yotei.
It could be. I could see that. I think in terms of broader appeal, though, I think it'll be Ghost of Yotei. Because definitely more people played it than Death Stranding 2. But
I agree, but Keeley might, Keeley doesn't say it puts them on the scale, but I think he does a slightly especially for Kojima.
I mean, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there at all. Yeah, I don't think DK is a lock. I don't think that the obligatory Sony game's a lock, honestly. I think the 3 locks are Expedition 33, Hades 2, Silk Song. I think are the
Yeah.
locks. And the only reason why I'm
Yeah.
not saying Dispatch is because it literally wrapped this past week, so I don't know how Jeff Keighley is doing nominees about Dispatch. Its
Yeah. I
release
hope Dispatch
timing
gets
might
in.
screw over Dispatch.
I hope so. I'm hoping that's not the case. But yeah, I'm gonna lock in Death Stranding 2 over Ghost GotY. I think there'll be an obligatory Sony game. Um, so now I have 3 slots left. I'm gonna go with Hades 2, and I'm gonna go with Silk Song. So I have 1 slot left. But honestly, I'm not confident anymore now because there's other games like I have 1 slot remaining. There's Split Fiction. There's Dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
There's I never played it, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yep.
Um, there's what else am I missing? Shoot, I'm blanking on something. Silent Hill F maybe. Um, shit, I'm blanking on something from earlier in the year. Uh,
Blueprints.
Blueprints, yeah, that was the one I was blanking on. So you have all these games, like someone's getting left out in the cold. A lot of people and so the other ones, I think the only reason I'm saying Death Stranding 2 and Donkey Kong Deluxe, I think, is because they'll be the obligatory, big AAA games. Even though Donkey Kong is barely a AAA game, it is AAA, but it's like they're not the over the top, super expensive, almost Hollywood production that is
Yeah.
AAA. But I think I'm going to risk it for my prediction. I'm going to put Dispatch in there.
Okay.
So
I mean, I think that Dispatch should be in there. I just don't know when Jeff Keighley went for these nominees.
Yeah, I hope I'm the least confident in it. But I'm hoping. I really am hoping it makes it. I'm of all my picks, it's the least one I'm confident in.
Yeah, because the timing,
Yeah, it's just timing.
Which sucks because Dispatch should definitely be nominated for best narrative. I think one of the actors should be nominated for best performance. I think that they should be nominated for visuals, for sure. But like in terms of like art direction, but it's just a timing thing. It's just straight up a timing thing. My 6, like I said, Expedition 33, Hades 2, Silk Song are locks for me. I think that even though Kingdom Come Deliverance deserves to be there, I think they will be the big loser. I think that they will get nominated for a bunch of categories, but they all will overlap with Expedition 33, and so Expedition 33 will take them out. So like Kingdom Come Deliverance will be nominated for best RPG. What's standing next to it? Expedition 33. I think that they'll be the big loser. I don't think they'll get a nomination for Game of the Year though. I am gonna say Ghost GotY in my list. I think that they will also be one of the big losers. Because again, I think a lot of their stuff will overlap with Expedition 33. Because I think they would be in the best action. I think they would be in the best action game. Maybe Expedition 33 is not in that category. Maybe it is. I definitely see them being in best score. Definitely Expedition 33. But I am gonna say it as the obligatory Sony nom. But I don't think they go home with very many awards. It leaves me with 2 slots. I am gonna go ahead and say DK Bonanza as well, just because I think that it was one of the finest games of the year, and I think it was a surprise to so many people of how good it was. And then for my last game, I want to say Dispatch, but it the timing just doesn't link up right, and I don't know how Jeff Keighley does his nominations and stuff like that. I think the nomination process has probably been in the works for weeks, and so unless he and other developers who do the nominees got fucking early access to all the rest of the episodes, which I don't think is very likely. I don't know if it's going to be on there or not. which kind of makes me want to be like Kingdom Come Deliverance or like Death Stranding as the last slot.
There's also Split Fiction,
There's
and I
also
can't
Split Fiction.
I can't believe I didn't nominate. I mean, like we both love Split Fiction.
Hmm.
We play it together on stream, and the fact that my list doesn't even include him anymore. Like that's how crazy this year is.
Yeah.
I do generally hope that they expand the list. I hope that they go surprise 7 or 8 slots because there's games that deserve to be here.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna lock in Split Fiction as my sixth one over Dispatch just because of the timing. I think Dispatch should be there instead for sure, but we've seen games that should be nominated get excluded because of their release windows.
Mhm.
And so with if everything for Dispatch came out on release day, I think I'd be more confident putting it on my picks. But since the last episodes literally wrapped this week, 5 days before the nominees came out, like that's too tight of a window.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping you're wrong because I'm obviously
I hope I'm
love
wrong too.
Dispatch. Yeah, um, but even though I'm locking in just for my own like love of the game, I do think you're right. Um, but I'm gonna roll the dice on it. Um, but yeah, this is as I think the biggest lesson is I do think that the Cleans be more willing in certain years to not just hold to the 6. Like yeah, like well, in other years, with fair to not other games not just that number. Like certain years are just better than others. That's just a fact that everyone accepts. Last
Yeah.
year, here's the thing: last year, Astrobot won. This year, I don't even think Astrobot would get nominated. How stacked this year is. I could see it coming in the wire. It definitely wouldn't win.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I would agree. It'd get nominated like in the family category and whatever, like the specialty category, but it definitely would not get, it wouldn't get nominated for direction. It wouldn't get nominated for game of the year for sure. And it won last year. So no, I 100% agree with that. I mean, it's a stacked year. Stacked year. I mean, 2023 was also a fucking stacked year. Um, and and we're just fortunate that it is, you know. So
And as we've been saying for weeks on end now, like so Expeditionary 3, Dispatch, Split Fiction, Hades 2, uh, Silk Song. We're shafting blueprints, but it's there. There's 6 games here. They're your double A's or indies. We could have they're not going to. I think a Sony game in war, a Nintendo game will get in. But there is a possibility of existence, justification where you could just have double A's and indies in this top 6,
yeah, for sure.
which is
It's crazy. It absolutely is crazy. It absolutely is crazy. And we've said it before, like that's the future of gaming right there. The double A's and stuff are the future of gaming. Because the multiple industry analysts have said that the model for AAA gaming is unsustainable, and but you know what is the double A space. Realistic budgets, realistic expectations for sales,
mm-hmm.
passion behind the projects, and the game sells. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we mentioned our dispatch review earlier. We spent 2.5 hours glazing the game. That's very much a passion project. Um, and then we're saying I would say I don't know. I don't think it would be my game of the year at this point. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. But we're both thinking Expedition 3 is gonna win at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And that's a double A passion project. So, like, it's just crazy. Like, and even last year, I just brought up Astrobot. Even though that is technically a AAA game because backed by Sony, that is a very small game
Mm-hmm.
compared to what Sony's usual fare is.
Yes.
And then the year before that, it's Baldur's Gate 3, which that is a AAA game, but Larian is a AAA studio with the spirit of an indie studio.
I wouldn't even say Larian's a AAA studio.
I mean, I do not want to call Baldur's Gate a AA game.
No.
But so that's what I'm saying. Like since then, like since for so 23, 24 ish, and then 25 are dominated by iStudios that are just not are bucking the trends basically.
Yeah. And thank God for that, because I don't want to talk about layoffs every single week.
No.
I don't want to talk about layoffs every week. But hey, let us know in the comments who you think, who are your nominees for Game of the Year this year going into the Game Awards. You know, is Expedition gonna is Expedition 33 gonna take it all, or is there some dark horses that are ready to take some awards from them? I mean, Dispatch is likely if they're let in. Kingdom Come Deliverance can upset. Split Fiction can upset. Hades and Silksong, titans of the indies. This Game Awards might actually be exciting in the awards departments.
I do generally look forward to our episode where we go over the nominees and what they do, because there'll be some shafting, there'll be some tight races. It's an exciting Game Awards, honestly.
Yep. And of course, instead of focusing on the awards, it will get some that are just given to Jeff Keighley's side chick to say, "Hey, here's one," instead of the pageantry that these awards deserve. So that's a conversation for another day. So that's gonna do it for us on this episode of the Games and Culture Podcast. Let us know in the comments, who's your Game of the Year nominees. Do you think that Rockstar was union busting? They totally were. And who do you wish is going to come to Marvel Token? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got the Game Awards nominee video coming up soon. You don't want to miss that. So subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the channel. We just finished up a review for Dispatch. Again, the link was somewhere in the ether, so please check it out.
Adios.